That's
Yeah.
awesome. And
It's
it's not
crazy.
been a smoothest ride. I'm sure there's been some bumps in the road. But
No,
did
yeah.
you ever get to a point when you maybe regretted doing this or kind of had some
Um,
doubts?
Not really. I think that actually the time. No, I mean I really loved it. I mean we grew up to 12 people.
Mm,
That's where we grew up to, and by 2001. So I mean I don't know that I regretted it. I mean there's days you regret
sure.
it, but I have a whole new outlook now. I
Right.
have it's totally
Well,
different.
you're in a
Totally different
part
place
two.
now. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's just it's and I ask that only because sometimes and I guess yeah, you don't maybe the regretting is not the right word, but sometimes you just question and you just like because you'll have I'm sure you've had your challenges and your ups and downs, and I know I did when I started off because I've been doing this since I was 20 years old, but
yeah.
and I was part owner of a company with my uncle up until I was 32, so I already had the experience. But when I went off on my own and my third son was just born, and it's like, okay, do I really want to, take this chance, And I knew in my heart I wanted to because I just wanted to be able to control my destiny, right?
Mhm.
My future, and that's not necessarily be beholden to someone else's plan for me, right?
Yeah.
But during that first couple of years, you start like, and it was tough. This one time, I remember I was because in where I regret the thing that like my lessons learned were really in my 20s because I had pretty good success learning the industry, making money,
Mhm.
growing the family, buying the house, whatever. But I wasn't smart enough to maybe invest, right? Or save
Mhm.
and kind of plan for the future. And then it wasn't until got to the point where I decided to leave on my own. That's like, okay, essentially going to start from scratch. So you question yourself. But then
Yeah.
the I know a guy that always provided, right?
Mhm.
And always kind of, you know, we were never in need.
Mhm.
And I remember there was a couple times where, and one vividly when this is when I was kind of not regretting, but like questioning, what am I doing? Because I had to start over and I was kind of struggling. And, but it was like tough. And I was sitting at my table and my wife was there. You know, my wife, she's
Mhm.
super supportive, always been there, got my back. And I contemplated working for FedEx at nights
Mm.
because it was tough, right?
Yeah.
It was tight. And I was like, man, I got to do what I got to do, whatever it takes.
Mhm.
But then I kind of just like, no, I just got to press harder over here where I'm at and
Mhm.
just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So there's those challenges when you start off, right?
Yeah.
And the encouraging thing is like you go through those, right? That's
Mhm.
kind of gets you to become more resilient,
Yeah.
right? And then, you learn and you start reflecting and, okay, I don't want to be in this position again.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've had many of those moments.
I don't know. It's funny because I don't think about a lot of them. It's nice when I didn't have the family. I didn't have to provide in the same way.
Right.
So me being single, not having any children, just having dogs. I mean, I didn't have to make a lot of money. I could live on a smaller amount of money, and so for me, it probably wasn't the same kind of journey.